When it comes to the center, rat holes are hidden everywhere, which is why we proudly present our top 10 unseen rat holes on the center. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. If you're looking for a great alternative to coffee or just a way to get you going in the morning, Mitra is definitely the way to go. Now, back to the video. Coming at number 10, this can be found at 86.9 latitude and 36.2 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over in the Redwoods area. Just come over here into this little arch, pretty famous arch. A lot of you guys should know this area. There is actually two rat holes here, so I'm going to show you the first one, and then the second one will be in a little bit. So yeah, this first rat hole is a bit of a smaller one, but it is meant for a smaller tribe to kind of, hide away a little bit. As soon as you come in, it kind of caves down, and then it is super flat land right here. You can fit indie forges, replicators, pretty much everything that you're going to need. Just defending that entrance is the only hard part with this location. Let's get on to number 9. Coming at number 9, this can be found at 86.9 latitude and 36.1 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this one can also be found over here in this arch, and as you can see, this one is actually a little bit farther in the cave. So as soon as you fly right up in here, you have a nice little opening right here, which opens up into a pretty decently sized rat hole. If you can defend this one is going to be a lot more overpowered than your first one. So I mean, if I were you, I would highly recommend living here. Just the entrance is a little bit wider, but as you can see, compared to that foundation, you have a ton of room to work with in here. Just put a nice little turret wall or just a bunch of spam turrets, and then you should honestly be fine in here. So yeah, let's move on to number 8. Coming at number 8, this can be found at 27.4 latitude and 83.3 longitude, and here it is on the map. Now this can be found underwater, which is a bit of a difference, but it is still not a underwater rat hole, and I'll show you guys what that means here in a second. Part of it is kind of in the water, so you can build in there if you want, but there's a little section that is not technically water, so I mean, it kind of works. Here's your entrance right here, so defending that entrance is going to be pretty difficult, and I'm gonna be honest, I would not try to defend that entrance. I would just put turrets on the interior, because I mean, you know how it is defending stuff underwater. It's just a pain to do. But anyways, here's your first little kind of room. You know, it's not terrible. It's a decent size, but that's what I mean with the water. A part of the bubble does kind of hit in this rat hole, so you have an area to build your base. You have a good amount of room. You can fit a lot of stuff in here, easily fit an entire tribe in here. And honestly, down here, you have a lot of room. So I mean, if you can build a nice little base in here, you have plenty of room for everything that you're going to need. Replicator is a little tight in here, but other than that, it does make for a pretty amazing base spot. Coming at number 7, this can be found at 52.3 latitude and 48.8 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over in Jungle South or Jungle North. I always mix them up, it's one of the two. Anyways, this can be found on these ruins. A lot of you guys should know these ruins. It's a pretty popular spot. Now this rat hole is tricky to get into. You have to use a crossbow, and even whenever I was doing it, it's just really difficult. So if I'm gonna be honest, if I were you, for a practical rat hole, I would not live in here. For a rat hole that can technically be unraidable, I would live in here. But there's not a lot of room to work with. It's mainly just a storage kind of area. At least that's what I would use it for, is just storing some of your best loot in here and then just spamming this thing with turrets. So yeah, other than that, it does make for a pretty decent rat hole. Just trying to get in and out of it, just an absolute pain. Coming at number 6, this can be found at 52.1 latitude and 5.4 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the side wall on the center, pretty famous side wall, you guys should know this. Now this rat hole is pretty difficult to find. Just kind of follow my exact path and you should hopefully find it. Now this rat hole is kind of an rat hole, like it's good, but it's not good at the same time, only because this area is not flat. If this area was flat, it would be an insanely overpowered rat hole. However, it still is a pretty deep rat hole, so I mean, if you can defend your main entrances on here, which I believe there's 2, but it's kind of connected, then you should be fine. And then up here, you have a nice little area to put some cliff platforms, put all of your main stuff up here, and it does make still for a pretty decent rat hole. Coming at number 5, this can be found at 68.9 latitude and 24.4 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over in the middle waterfall of the giant triple waterfall area. So this one is hard to find. Just kind of follow my path, look for these little flat areas on the side, and you should hopefully find it. It is a little tricky to find, but yeah, this one is a bit awkward though. You need torches or some kind of light source to live in here, because the lighting is really messed up. Like as you can see, I tried to adjust my exposure on here to try to hopefully fix it, and even then it does not fix this rat hole. So yeah, it is an absolute massive rat hole. It's a big maze in here. So I mean, if you can figure out your good spots and your bad spots, I'm not really able to figure it out, but it is a pretty insane rat hole. I mean, you have unlimited room in here. Got a lot of tight spots though, but other than that, I mean, it does make for a pretty good rat hole. Coming at number 4, this can be found at 36.4 latitude and 30.8 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the floating island. Now this one is actually pretty cool. So as you can see, it's right here on this pillar, and even for me, it was tricky to find after I already found it. This entrance is a bit awkward, but defending the entrance is going to be insanely easy. You know, just throw a cliff pad on it, spam some turrets around it, boom. I mean, you're set. Now, it is a little awkward to build because you have to build it kind of upwards. Fitting stuff like a replicator in an indie forge is going to be a little bit tight in here, but other than that, it does make for a pretty decent rat hole. Now, this thing does keep going. I mean, that's just your first room. Then you have a nice little second room up here, but it is still kind of tight. It does open up a little bit more right here. So, I mean, that is a little bit of a good part of this. And actually, it opens up a little bit more than I thought, to be honest with you. I didn't think that it was going to open up this much. So, yeah, you do have room for a replicator and an indie forge up here. And overall, it is a pretty phenomenal rat hole. I mean, I'm not even going to lie at all. And defending that entrance is just super easy. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 6.8 latitude and 48.8 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the volcano island, and this one is a little tricky to find. Kind of follow my path, and also I'm not sure what's up with this part. It's got a little framey on me. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyways, here's your entrance right here. Super tiny entrance. You have to crouch to get in here, and then it kind of dives down. So defending it is a little bit tricky because you got to figure out how to defend that entrance as it dives down. Now, upon entering, is a little bit awkward, but there's just an insane amount of room in here. I mean, you're not really going to run out of room. A nice little platform area over here as well, but I mean, it's still awkward. It's awkward to fit things in here. You're gonna have to do it on multiple layers. It's the only downside with these rat holes, but they're absolutely massive. So I mean, as long as you're fine with building very awkwardly, this would make for a pretty decent spot. And coming at number 2, this can be found at 50.0 latitude and 5.5 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the side of the giant cliff again, which is found right next to Green Op, I believe. This rat hole is pretty intense. So it has a similar entrance to that last one, but just, you know, this not being on the volcano island, being in a much better location. Now, as soon as you come in, it kind of dives as well, just like that last one. However, this one opens up into a much bigger rat hole. Now you have 2 ways to go, up and down. It just spans this entire little cliffside. It's an absolute maze to try to figure out, but this one does have a lot of flat room in here, so you can fit a ton of stuff in here. And yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to say. It's just a giant maze for you to explore, meaning there's probably a couple rooms in here that I still didn't find that might be just absolutely massive. I mean, I tried searching this as much as I can, and yeah, pretty insane rat hole, so I would highly recommend going to check this thing out. And finally, coming at number 1, this can be found at 8.8 latitude and 56.5 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the volcano island, and this rat hole is absolutely insane. So this entrance is overpowered. I mean, insanely overpowered. If you put just a bunch of spam turrets on here, it's just unrateable. I mean, it's just as simple as that. You only have one little weak spot, and that is this little kind of opening area. But other than that, I mean, it's an absolutely insane rat hole. It opens up into this massive room. As you can see, this first room's a little tight, kind of hard to defend. This is your main room, though. Absolutely massive room, tons of room to work with, and it does actually keep going too. It keeps going up and then down over here as well. But yeah, anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.